What things should be kept private from your so, no matter how healthy your relationship is. No matter how healthy a relationship is, there'll always come a time where you have resentful thoughts of your spouse. Those should be kept to yourself, as most of them pass quickly. The only time you should share them is if they're persisting in some behavior that is hurting you, and then it should be done calmly and not in the heat of the moment. For instance, if you got home from work tired to find your spouse binge watching a TV show, but the sink is full of dirty dishes, the impulse may be to lace into them. Don't. Go ahead and do the dishes, and tomorrow, when that initial flash of anger has passed, discuss the issue. People say arguments can be healthy in a relationship, but it all comes down to how you argue. Spouses, at least if they're good ones, know intimate details about you, your past, and how you think and feel. This gives them weapons to hurt you, and it may be tempting to use such weapons when angry. But if you know your spouse has a sore spot about their dad, and you say in anger this is why your dad never loved you, you have permanently damaged your relationship. And that damage builds up over time. Successful relationships survive because people rein themselves in that moment. Even when they're angry, they don't want to inflict wounds like that. So whenever the impulse arises to use those weapons in anger, resist the temptation. You may forget what you did quickly, but they won't. That you know you're the pet's favorite person. If your relationship started under potentially offensive pretenses, e.g. they were madly in love but they were just your rebound. Where I hide the secret, spare pair of scissors I keep for when he's lost all the other 11 pairs of scissors we own and I need to trim a chip bag down to make getting to the chips easier. The location of your ships while playing Battleship. Sometimes, no matter how attractive your partner is to you and no matter how much you love them, there is an aspect to them that is unchangeable but that you find gross or annoying or just generally less than attractive. Clogged nose pores, a laugh that sounds like a muppet, big toenails that just look a little bit weird, or that single long hair growing from inside their ear that just keeps coming back no matter what they do. If it's going to make them feel insecure or unloved, this is something you should just keep to yourself. In a relationship, you learn each other's weak points and vulnerabilities, and using them against your partner is a boundary that, once you cross it, you can't come back from. Once you make someone feel like they can't trust you with their vulnerable self, your relationship is on its way out. If she poops on the table while birthing your child, no she fucking didn't. Your psychologist/therapy sessions. I had an ex that used to demand I tell him what I talked about in my sessions and it was super uncomfortable. With my current partner we are both in therapy and if it's a phone session the other goes in a different room. If we want to talk about something we told the psych or something we will tell our psych at the next appointment we do, but I would never ask and nor would he. We might ask how did it go? To which the other may say it was good or it was emotionally draining, but that's as far as it should go. These are personal sessions, not couples therapy, we're not in that. The unkind shit you think when you're angry and tired, it will absolutely never help at all to say any of it out loud and even if you don't have a particularly big fight or break up over it you'll still regret it and they'll still remember. Possibly also what you think about how hot other people are, depending on how jealous/insecure your so is. My dad has mentioned a few times that in their 40+ years of marriage, he's never gone in her top dresser drawer or purse. My wife is sensitive about animals, so anytime I see/read some sort of tragedy related to an animal, I hide it from her. My steady supply of jokes. I set up my Android to send me a joke every night at 5 p.m. and I tell it to my husband later on, before I jump in the shower. He always asks where I'm getting this stuff from and I just laugh and shut the bathroom door. I would like him to continue thinking of me as this endless joke fairy for the rest of our lives, smiley face. Whether or not I like my butthole licked. It's not something you should share with my mom when you're losing a game of Uno, Molly. That I know you keep a secret stash of chocolate in the Tampax box. Not my business. I do 12-step stuff, and I won't tell her what I hear in the rooms. What is your most controversial take on Star Wars? For a show that explores the fucking universe, so much bullshit happens in goddamn Tatooine. Not enough planet wars, black hole wars or moon wars. Lasers lock doors. Lasers open doors. Lasers know what you want the door to do. Han is actually older than Obi-Wan due to time dilation. The Death Stars weren't badly designed, they were just badly managed. Yes, designing them assuming large-scale assaults was stupid given the political state of the galaxy, but the second Death Star wasn't even finished, so that doesn't count. it's all Palpatine's fault. As for the first one that was finished, the Alliance made 3 runs on the exhaust port. The first was called off before they made it to the trench, the second failed and the third was carried out by Space Jesus, which isn't exactly fair. All in all, it sounds like a fairly effective defense when you consider the design philosophy. Edit. Response to some points people made. Some people pointed out Galen Erso's sabotage. This is again a management problem, as if you let a saboteur on your team and he changes the design, that's on you, not the design. Other people said it was ridiculous, one shot took out the whole base. First of all, see again the sabotage point. But also, single points of failure are more common than you'd think. Aircraft, for example, have loads. You can't always engineer them out, so what you have to do is make it so there's no one decision that can cause it to fail. Not sure if controversial, but they need to take the franchise and yeet it 200 years in the future. I'm tired of the Empire era where they need to justify why more than 2 Jedi and 2 Sith exist at one moment, alongside knowing everything is pointless until Luke leaves the farm. It is shown on multiple occasions that droids are very much alive with their own personality, C-3PO, R2-D2, L3K2 SO, and more. It's clear robots are as alive in the Star Wars universe as any other alien race, yet they are treated worse than slaves by both the good and bad sides. C-3PO and R2-D2's memory being erased like it's nothing, given away like slaves. It's quite hypocritical from the good side to treat droids like slaves yet be all goody two-shoes about helping the flesh-bodied creatures of the universe. The universe and many characters are bunkers cool, but many times completely offset by poor writing, plot holes, and terrible plot devices. Edit. In response to some of the comments and fairness to Star Wars, Marvel/DC have the same problem across almost all of their fiction as well. Heroes have gotten way too over the top where it just becomes dumb. Doesn't mean I'm not a fan of the overall universe though. Edit 2. There may be some confusion here. I should have mentioned that inconsistency is huge. Sometimes you have a character doing something incredible, but then that same character can't accomplish a feat that should be 100x easier than something he/she has done before. In an entire galaxy, long ago, far, far away, why are there only, like, 4 people who do anything? And maybe they're related. Is always the game being played? Luke is Rey's Boba? Or is Han Obi-Wan's uncle? Dad Vader is actually BB-8. Jawas make me feel tingly inside. That one of the biggest issues of Star Wars is that they keep going all in on Palpatine. I mean, who gave a fuck about the paint-by-numbers evil Emperor during the OG trilogy? I judge most of my opinion of a Star Wars movie by the quality of its lightsaber fights. Star Wars is actually the life story of C-3PO, think about it. Return of the Jedi is my favorite SW film. Whenever someone says the word Star Wars, my mind immediately goes to any particular scene in that movie. People say the movie is disjointed, but every scene is memorable at the very least. Boba Fett is an oddly overrated background character, and even after watching the book of Boba Fett, I don't really care about him. What do you find sexually attractive about someone that most people might find strange? For every response, please reply with the subreddit if it exists. Love watching my boyfriend work on Excel sheets. He thinks I'm kidding when I tell him it's hot, but it's so hot watching him do things he's good at. This sub is making me realize that even when people say they're attracted to ugly things, I still don't have any of those. My girlfriend's arms. She always wears sweaters, so when I see her bare arms I get a little aroused cause I only see M when we're having sex. Seeing M in a non-sexual situation always feels taboo, like seeing an ankle in colonial times. Unusual ratios of legs to body, strange features which stand out, earlobes. Some people just walk like they're sexy even though they're not, and I think that's sexy. Facial scars. Yet I don't understand it either. This thread should be proof to all of us that there is someone out there that finds whatever weird shit you've got going on attractive. Prominent noses. Probably a result of growing up with a fair amount of Jennifer Grey movies, although the noses don't have to be in the same shape/style as hers. Edit. Can't believe I have to say this, but no, I did not mean Jewish noses. While I like noses often found in any Mediterranean background, I don't limit it to that type. I love wider, flatter noses as well. I merely gave an example of a person I grew up with who was famous for their nose, but I specifically said it doesn't have to be in the same shape. Slight stuttering or lisping. It quite, but I find it cute in people and it makes me feel like they are a sweet person. Can OFC be totally misleading? Nice pointy canine teeth. Not crazy vampire fangs. Just simply pronounced ones. I find it way more attractive when a woman has a unique face rather than a perfect face. Same with the body actually. Slightly big teeth. Specifically the front. And a nice teeth-gum ratio. Not saying a perfect smile but slightly big teeth. I fell in love with my girlfriend back in high school, a few years before we got together. One of the things that initially drew me to her was how she ate lunch. She always looked so happy to be eating, while a lot of other girls seemed shy or avoided eating around boys. Something about her general confidence and comfort just got me going, and the way she'd eat with such comfort and total nonchalance sold it for me. It's been almost 10 years now that we've been together and I still feel that crush burning like it did back then every time I watch her eat. Is it specifically sexual attraction? I suppose not. There's nothing sexual about eating. I guess I just find the way she eats a non-negligible feature of her overall sex appeal. Smile lines around the eyes. Lots of crinkles when they laugh.